Hey, what's up? This is Corey from Georgia Rock Zombies. Wanted to do a quick review. Recently, as you could see from the beginning of this video, picked up a Element RC independent front suspension conversion for an SCX10 II. So this is what this video is about. Told Tanner I would do this for him because this is ultimately going to be the truck that he's driving in the Halloween Haul and Crawl coming up this October. So without further ado, most of the people that have been on the channel already know this body. So this is the Proline Racing 1991, I think, Toyota 4Runner body. It has a custom roof rack on it by Camp Fabrications. Kayaks painted by me came from Cabela's. And then all of the other 3D printed parts as far as mirrors, windshield wipers, the grill, and the back tag plate are from RC Nerds. And the rear wiper. So let's go into this independent front suspension kit. So this is an axial SCX10 II rear axle running Proline ProSpec 70mm shocks on the rear because I like to run a small tire. Of course, it's got the Castle Mamba X Slate 2850 motor, Reefs 444 servo, and now the independent front suspension from Element. This kit is super easy to put together. I was impressed by how well it went together and just really how it looks and how it feels. So some of the things that I ran into, well, before I get into that, one thing you will have to do, because this is ultimately made and designed for the Element RC Sendero, but they do make it available for an SCX10 II with the help of some 3D printed parts. So you can either download the free file from Element RC's website right in the same place where you purchased this. There's a link down there to download the file, or a link to their Shapeways store so you can purchase it and have it shipped to you. It's really cheap too. But I had this one 3D printed by my friend Oren Camp at Camp Fabrications. So he printed this piece as well as these shock towers. Or not the shock towers, but it's basically just a shock mount. It mounts into your current shock towers and drops down just a little bit to give you a place to mount a shock, because the shocks do mount lower than they do on the stock axle. That's all you really have to do. You purchase this, you put that on. This one doesn't have a front bumper yet, but that's in the works. I'll show you that closer to the end. But as long as you've got a decent 3D printer or you've got your print quality set up, this is a solid, sturdy part. I'm not worried about this thing because it's not going to take that much of a beating. So, putting this together, things I ran into. This steering setup is completely different from anything that I had ever seen. But it was really simple once you understand what it is. Super smooth, get a lot of turning out of it. So there's all the way left, there's all the way right. This also, for you guys who know SCX10s pretty well, this transmission is flipped. So this has the Bauhaus RC transmission flip. I did have on here, which couldn't run it anymore. This is the Bauhaus battery tray, but I had to take that off when I did the IFS kit. So only real major issue that I ran into was a little bit on the drive shaft length. I had to trim some down, and then also on this piece that they give you. This piece runs, as you can see, from the bottom of your IFS down at your gearbox, or down at your differential, all the way back up to your skid. Well, with this Bauhaus kit, my drive shaft wouldn't fit. I kept hitting this plate, so I just had to trim that out, as you can see, to make a nice clean place for the drive shaft to go and not bind. But overall, super impressed. As sure you can see on the drop tests and everything how this thing works, how well it is. It does come with these springs. So these are pretty stiff spring, but my thought was originally go with some thinner springs that came with the Axial Icon shocks. If you like a lowrider, that's the way to go, because the way this thing set with those springs on it was about here. So I had very little travel. That's with the icon shocks on it. Put the Element springs on there, boom, poked it right down. But with everything on it, sits nice. It's a nice level. Now, 100% approved of this. This is such a killer kit. Moving on to the bumper that is going to be on this, because you saw the big gap in the video. That was on purpose. This has to be redesigned to fit so that the skid plate on the front of the IFS will work. But this is going to be the bumper for the 4Runner. So a little bit of thought went into this. Not a whole lot, because if you know me, you know there's not a lot of thought goes into anything. But these I just wanted there for looks. These holes are a 4mm hole. What I plan to do is take a solid 4mm rod, smash that down on one end so that I can put a tow hook on each side here. So I have a place for the winch to go. That hole does go all the way through for your winch fair lead. On the back side of your tow hooks, you can see there's these two holes. That's made so that I can weld or braze a small metal plate on there so that 4mm rod doesn't just pull a nut all the way through. I'd have to pull all that material through if I'm towing something. Back to the front, you've got these two holes on the ends. These are designed specifically to work with PowerShift RC's Clodbuster headlight kit. They are the exact size of the PowerShift RC Clodbuster headlight kit, so that you turn them sideways, slide them in there. Hole comes out the back side. If I can get the light to show it, there it is. You can kind of see it there. You can definitely see it on this side. That way your wires come out the back. Hook your wires to your battery source or however you're powering your lights. And you have lights in the bumper and the headlights that are already in this truck. So, wanted to get that out of the way. Show this again. IFS kit for SCX10 II. And as it showed on the video, approved. Well done, guys. Tanner, can't wait to see you driving this rig. I'm sure I'll talk to you later today, because you said yesterday you were calling me today. So I hope you guys enjoy this video. Catch you later.